Self-discipline, Master Elf.
Think that'll bring you success?
Did in our contest. You lost on purpose.
My aim was never to defeat you, but to gain your ear a while longer.
Elf lies. Blast it.
All right.
I always thought you were mighty dwarvish for an elf. Mightiest thing a dwarf can do is to be worthy of the name of his father. We do have our secret names, for use only amongst ourselves. We reveal them only to family, brothers. Elrond.
You save it, Durin.
It's this. Wow, that's a lot of it.
It's right
Okay, I got one like root.
there. Look at it all.
Wow, there's so
Like
many. Look at
veins.
that.
Like roots.
Durin.
Where is he?
Uh
Oh. Oh, hi, Dad.
oh. Uh oh.
Oh boy.
She's the elf.
Oh no. Here's a little piece. Yeah.
When your mother bore you, something inside you was ill-formed. I held you to the firelight. Seemed to ease the burden a little. Our son would live. And he would move mountains!
You speak of greatness for me, but you suffocate in me any ambition, any desire. Elrond is as much a brother to me as if he'd been fired in my own mother's womb.
How dare you?
Squandering our future so you can cling to the past! You profaned the crown you wear!
Oh man.
Leave it. It's not yours anymore.
Fetch in a pail, what's it look like?
Well, no, the Vittle, stop eating. We have to save them.
Why don't you take a look outside? And then we'll talk.
Oh, everything came back.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Bring him back.
Stranger.
He fixed it.
Malvin's saying she's going to make something called apple sausage.
Ooh, apple sausage. Apple sausage. Sounds kind of interesting. Yum. A big footprint. Is that the stranger? Oh, she's just gone. She left her basket.
Oh my gosh.
As long as no one took her.
No, I was wondering about that.
Oh, it's these weird guys.
Oh, it's those guys.
It's Slim Shady. Yeah, they want the stranger. Just don't hurt the Harfoots.
Is she gonna go confront them?
Oh God! You don't know anything about
The
them.
wrong way. He went that way.
Oh, to save him. Nope.
Huh? Oh boy, where are they?
Crap! That's so scary. Are they gonna be there? They're just gonna disappear. That's it.
We're behind us.
That was scary.
Puppy.
Oh.
Uh oh.
They're right there.
Oh my god. Whoa.
This was scary. Oh my
That's
God.
scary.
Move that
Whoa.
away
Doesn't
from
even
my
intimidate
face.
them.
Uh-oh.
That's nothing to me.
Yeah. Oh, they put
Push
it
your
out?
fire out. They're that powerful.
Whoa.
Don't hurt them.
They're starting everything on fire.
No way! Yeah.
Their homes. Their wagons.
Well, they're definitely evil.
Their cars.
Yes, they are. Oh, crap.
Oh! All
Oh
at
my
once.
god!
Come on.
Are people gonna burn inside there too?
Yeah.
Were they able to get out? All their cards.
Everything they worked so hard for.
Just in a few seconds.
No. You're going home. Do you hear me?
Music. No, Isildur's still out there.
You're coming with us.
He wants to stay with her.
Let him free and he'll go find Isildur. He's gonna save him. He has a sense. No.
I should have left her in the sea where I found her.
No.
So brave.
Oh no, I hate the music. Is that her? No. She's alive. She's standing? How's she okay? Wow. She looks pretty good too.
Is he too?
He helped her, that's why. Maybe. Oh.
Oh, wow.
Oh. I didn't think all of them were going to survive. Oh, that's great.
That's good.
No one kneels in Numenor. You are not in Numenor. Do not spend your pity on me, elf. Save it. For our enemies. Numenor will return.
No, we want that.
Then the elves will be ready.
I'm glad she's keeping it that way. That's
I
good.
am too.
Yeah. Captain?
Ooh,
Did he leave? No
No.
freaking way. Just like that.
No, come on.
Because he's so spooky.
No,
Oh, he's right there.
Just
Okay.
crying because of his son.
On your feet now, girl. Stand up. Help me gather what we can. Nori.
She feels bad. She thinks it's her fault.
Is that all you think we have left in us? We're Harfoots.
Listening?
We stay true to each other. No matter how the path winds, or how steep it gets.
To help my friend. Warn him what's coming.
Alone?
She won't be alone.
I'm coming too.
Not without me.
And me.
If a trail finder were to go with them.
Oh, that's good of her.
What's the good of living, Sadok, if we aren't living good?
See, that's nice. Came around.
I'm coming with you.
Good. Is he changing things up?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter anyway, we're all gonna die.
Oh, jeez. Oh, their feet. Can you spot him from there? It's looking beautiful. Rolling hills.
You believe she'll keep her promise?
No.
No.
I'm certain of it.
Oh, good. I was going to say, I think she will.
They say there's fresh land, fresh water.
A fresh start.
That's our first time.
Then I will report to our High King. Inform me of what?
He's around and he's alive. He survived.
Oh.
Yay. Ooh.
Wow. Ooh.
Still
So
he's
he died.
alive.
This wound needs elvish medicine.
Can he ride? I'll have the healers gather what provisions I can.
I will not abandon these lands and condemn them to burn. Nor will you.
Well, he's walking. That's good. Pay no mind.
Keep it.
Soldier.
That'll be good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The big helmets that the kids run around in.
He's grown too old, too suspicious, his mind too feeble. And together we will rule this mountain and all others before our time is done. We are going to dig.
That'll be a secret leaf. Seal it up. Yes. The breath of it. Oh my god.
That is the name of a place that no longer exists.
What shall we call it instead, Lord Father?
The Southlands, Mordor. Mordor. No, confirmation.
Oh boy. Doom.
Well, I do feel better. A lot more people survived than I thought.
It's incredible.
I thought there
It's
were
absolutely incredible.
Me too.
I am happy to see that, but I was very shocked.
Me too.
Because Galadriel being an elf, I mean, they have more resistance to a lot of things. I mean, they're pretty much like super upgraded humans. And I was like, okay, well, super strong, super resistant skin or something. But a lot of humans survived too.
Yes.
Yeah, so many people did. Everybody. It was just amazing how many people did.
Oh yes, and Halbrand at the end.
Oh,
yeah.
I was really surprised.
You know, I was hoping he did survive because I feel like he's going to be, like, we're all trying to guess to see who Sauron's going to be, and I'm guessing it might be him now, but I don't know.
I'm thinking it's him too.
But I am happy that, you know, he's still so determined to, like, keep everyone safe and to, like, you know, fight the darkness kind of thing. And him and Galadriel going off. I like them together. Hopefully he can get healed. And I like Galadriel and Theo together in this. I think that was huge because Theo I was also concerned about because he is very tempted by the darkness and drawn to that hilt. So him being with Galadriel, who is very wise, and she also knows that she's also tempted by darkness, but for other reasons. But you know, she's very driven to just kill off all these orcs and Adar and everything that she deems evil, to the point where she's so obsessed, she's consumed by it. But talking to Theo and giving him lessons about, like, it's not good to keep killing all these orcs. Like, you can't, like get excited about that because it's something really bad, you know, because you're going to get...
If you're happy about doing something bad,
that's for sure.
That's going to take over you.
And she gave him her sword, too.
That was huge, too. Yeah, I mean...
It was, and he really tried to give it back to her, you know, and she's like, no, it's yours, soldier.
That's right.
Yeah, and Theo... you know, like a lot of humans in this, like, have problems with elves, and especially with this village. And with Theo, he really was, you know, against Arondir because he didn't know anything about him. And, but over time, like, he really learned to care for him. And talking to Galadriel, you know, like, he was able to kind of bond with her too and gain her respect and vice versa. And I think that was good for both of them to really talk to each other and just survive together to really get to know each other.
It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. And I loved Theo hugging Arondir at the end. That was so beautiful.
I love that. Yeah, it makes me very happy. I'm very happy they all survived. I thought Bronwyn was definitely a goner in this one. I mean, she was really bad last episode, and I'm like, the fact that she's even walking now, I was very impressed.
Yeah, she was behind him standing. I mean...
Yeah, even though you can see she's in pain, but still, I'm like, that's pretty incredible. You're actually able still to help other people being a healer, but yeah, it was pretty awesome. So he must have... stayed by her side, of course, during that time when the volcano erupted and helped shield her or something, because she looked pretty flawless in a way when she was there. But when we saw that other person, which is very sad, you know, that we thought was Bronwyn, you know, and then it was revealed it wasn't. Like, I was like, oh wow, yeah, she's dead. It's very, it's like a very sad moment.
It's perfect. And the queen's alive. She lost her sight, but she's alive, and she's very much with Galadriel. She's just...
I love that.
Very, very invested.
She's staying true to the old Numenor ways, where, I keep saying Numenor ways, where she, you know, even though, like, Elendil, I feel so bad about Isildur, but he does survive because he's in the stories later that we saw in The Lord of the Rings. But I think his horse going back to him will. I'm assuming that's what's going to happen because, again, this is like a very fated type story. So I feel like, with his horse getting all upset, I was like, Beric's going to run right to him and save him from the rubble. But for Elendil to be like so, which I understand, he just lost his son and lost so many soldiers that he just thought this was such a waste of time and so many people died needlessly that he's just so against Galadriel right now.
Yes, he's very upset about that.
Yeah, so he's like separating humans and elves again, and completely blaming Galadriel, which it is kind of her fault to a certain extent, but I think she's doing the right thing. She's trying to help people.
Yes.
And here Muriel understands, and she's like, we're going to come back in even bigger force, and we're going to help you. We're going to team up.
Yes.
And yes, that's the old ways. That's what they should do, to work together to fight evil.
And Elendil was very upset with that, and he wouldn't talk, and her not being able to see, she can't see that he's right there and how physically upset he is.
Yeah. Maybe she'll even have that extra sense where, because even, you can hear and stuff, but she's like, oh, you don't take the knee or whatever. Like, she knew that Galadriel was doing that, but yeah, I feel like she's going to start to know, like, what's going on around her. But yeah, like, he was very quiet, and we thought he took off for a second.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm like, that's crazy, but... But I hope Beric saves Isildur. I think that will be a lovely scene to see that. And his other friend died, though, and that was terrible.
Wasn't it?
Matamo, I think. Yeah. But his other friend did survive.
Yep.
Philando.
Yeah.
I can't believe how many people did. I mean, that was
a lot of people that survived.
Yeah, because once you guys were leaving in the comments that, no, I think that's the creation of Mordor. That was Mount Doom. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Because I know it makes sense to a lot of people, but I was like so sold it was a vision that I wish I recorded that, because I was so shocked to hear that I'm like, everyone's gone, everyone's dead. So I just had it in my head that, people we know from the stories, Galadriel, of course, from the movies, like, she's going to survive. But I'm like, Arondir's probably dead at this point. He probably was protecting Bronwyn, and she's probably fried to a crisp. Like, everyone else, Isildur and Elendil, will survive. But yeah, so yay! I'm glad most of them survived.
So thrilled, yes, absolutely.
And going to the Harfoots now, I do love their story. I know it's slower, but I think it's so great to focus on their lifestyle and how great they are. In a way, I know they're learning new things to work together and do different things to survive. Because they were always about leaving people behind if you couldn't keep up. And I think that's terrible, but that's just how they know how to survive. So now they're really coming around, and I think this is...
When they finally got to the place they needed to be, with Nori and the family coming, like, no one says, oh, great, I'm glad you're here, But that's the way that they live, You migrate together, but kind of apart. Right. They were last in line. And the stranger was with them. He actually did produce, this wonderful apple harvest and then some. And then we have these strangers coming over, these alien type thing. I don't know. But
I know, like, what kind of species are these? Like, and they're evil too, because I try not to judge a book by its cover, but with Tolkien, I noticed a lot, of course, obviously, that with the movies, you have evil characters look really evil, and then you'll have, like, pure characters, like, very, they'll be very attractive or beautiful, and so you can usually tell light and dark. Not always. I mean, I know you have some mixes in between, but usually you look corrupted, dark, or something. So I was totally judging them, and I'm like, oh, God, they look really scary. I'm sure that they're evil, and I started to give them the benefit of the doubt when Nori went up to them. And I'm like, well, they're quiet and odd, and they just kind of appeared in front of her, but maybe they're just not used to socializing outside their own group. And I was totally in denial. Like, maybe they're okay.
He was quiet. He wouldn't talk, but he was always curious, and they were completely evil.
I mean, to just do that, because, I mean, maybe they felt threatened because, Largo had the freaking torch up like this, but he's defending his family. But the fact that, they just completely destroyed. I mean, they know that they're that powerful, and they're against, they probably know what Harfoots are, maybe not, but I'm like, they look like innocent in nature creatures. So the fact that they just took advantage of it and used, like, I'm sure it was just a little amount of their power to completely destroy their living.
A minute amount, because they knew just touching the tree where the stranger was.
Yeah.
I mean, they're that powerful where just, ruining their little world is nothing to them. They're just like, I'm going to just destroy
and I mean,
them.
when that one, like, blew the ash away from
Right.
his hand, like, it went right to their carts.
Right.
So it's like he knew right exactly where to hit hardest.
That's right.
Take away all their livelihood.
They're warning you. Do it again, and it's going to be you.
Yeah, right? So hopefully they'll find the stranger first because they definitely need him. I'm glad that, with him separating this episode, I was like, oh, I hope that's not it because I know that there's going to be more involved with the Harfoots and with the stranger. So I don't think the stranger, I mean, he looks very different, but I don't think he's part of that white-robed group.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think it's an evil thing. I think that they want to corrupt him, but they did sense his presence when they went to the crater initially.
That's true.
So they're tracking him.
And he needs to get to where he needs to be to find out these stars. And I think that's what it is. They're trying to beat him to the punch or trying to get him before he does.
Yeah. And Sadek was even saying that, I hope you find your stars. And then he says something around like, our ancestors haven't seen those stars in a long time in lands, however he said it, not frequently traveled or haven't been traveled in a long time. So it sounds like it's like unknown lands that are like far away from their normal trails. So they have to go somewhere new to find this place again because it's been like over 1,000 years since the last Harfoot or something saw those stars, which is pretty incredible to even know that much because like how long do they live for? Do just remember it through story, But yeah, so what do the stars mean?
I know it.
Wow.
And the stranger, just for him to leave, and he just tried so hard to bring back that tree and for that limb to fall down. The boy was curious. He was trying to get closer and see what's going on, but that was pretty dangerous. I mean, he almost was killed.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, all the Harfoots, they were, and that's what I love about them. They're like, they find ways to survive because they're so tiny, like with normal humans and stuff. Like they're so much bigger and dangerous to them, and they're still so naturally curious too.
Yes.
That they just go up to the stranger, and I'm sure, I don't know, maybe Nori hasn't said anything, but she was already scared once because she was frozen and hurt her hand by the stranger by accident. But here, like, they're all hovering around him when he's doing the spell, where I would think at this point, I'd be like, okay, he's not, like, perfect at doing these spells. Yeah, I think she'd be like, okay, stay away a little bit more and give him a lot of space to handle this, because now it's a bigger object he's working with. But yeah, they were just so naturally curious. They were all just kind of like kids, like, looking and, But then I'm glad, because I felt kind of bad also because, of course, you don't want any of the Harfoots to get injured, but they get upset at him, which I can understand why, but it's still kind of their fault for getting too close.
Yeah.
And they, he's still learning. I mean, they've been with him for a while now where he's learning their language, and you can tell he doesn't know much of anything else, or at least it's like dormant and he has to relearn it or something. So I'm glad they don't like get so scared and upset where they're like, oh, screw you, get out of here. Like they're not like super mean about it. They're just like, all right, well, you got to move on. That's the human settlement over there. Like they're not super nasty about it.
Yes. And they were
understand
down.
There's a middle ground.
Yeah. And they were down below where the tree was. So odds are, if it falls, it's going to go down.
So some survival instincts, maybe not so great.
Come on, Harfoots.
Not really.
Yeah. So hopefully they learn from this,
They did.
But
And I'm
did well
so glad there's a handful of them going with Nori to find him.
Yeah.
So
and
great.
Marvel, of all people,
Absolutely
was the one who spoke up because
I'm so happy.
I found her so funny so far,
Yeah.
but like she's always said rude things, and some things I understand. Like she does have truth behind her words, And when she said we should just like take their cart and leave them behind, I'm like that sucks. Like you're just sentencing them to death at this point. Like that's just awful. But it does have some truth behind it. I just didn't like it, But then here, like for her to actually say something that's completely opposite and be like, no, you should go and help them. Like they're gonna need a guide. Like that's great.
And that's not the Harfoots way. You have to be together, like Largo was saying, we have to stay together. We have to be together.
Yeah.
And, it's one thing to, if you did do something wrong, to go at the end of the line. Absolutely. But still, you have to be as one, really.
Yeah. Now, jumping to Durin. That's hard. Like, what do you think about him and the king and his father? Do you think his father's right? Do you think Durin's right? Do you think both of them are wrong?
I think Durin's right.
Mm-hmm.
His
right.
I think has a blind eye to everything.
Yeah, I think the dad's wrong. And he was very, very willing to follow his son before. Why not now? Come on, this is there's so many elven lives at stake.
That's right.
To do this against them is just so sad.
Yeah. And they did have the proof, with the leaf. It healed really fast, almost brand new when it was close to the mithril. It was a little piece of mithril. It was pretty big compared to the leaf, but so I'm glad that Durin saw that. And I know there's a lot of story there with the Balrog that's deep under the mountain with the ancient story of that pure elf fighting like the ultimate evil and diminishing it or killing it or whatever, burying it. And then I'm totally butchering the story, but then that mithril lightning strike went all the way through that mountain, right? So the Balrog is all the way down at the bottom of the mountain, and in Lord of the Rings, that whole kingdom ends up being a tomb because everyone dies because the Balrog gets out and actually kills everyone. Mm-hmm. So eventually that will happen. So this is a doomed story from the start. And I think Durin definitely, as we all know, has great intentions because he wants to save the elves. The elves, they do believe, or most do believe, this is going to happen, that they're going to just diminish if this doesn't happen. They need the mithril, but there's so much mithril now. Instead of just taking a few, I'll just say roots of it, they're probably going to mine so much of it, and that's what's going to cause their demise because the Balrog's going to get out and kill everyone. So that's what's so hard. So I think Durin's doing the right thing, and I do believe that the father has to break away from normal tradition and adapt to new things. But at the same time, he's not wrong. And if people listen to the father, the dwarves would have survived most likely, and the elves would have diminished. So that's what's kind of, I keep saying diminished because I think that's what Elrond said, like we'll just like disappear or something. But so I'm curious what you guys have to say, because it's not really, one way or the other. It's kind of like a middle ground that it's not a perfect story for everyone. It's like it'll help one way or the other kind of thing.
That's true. And Durin's love for Elrond is just so beautiful.
I love them. They're adorable.
And, I just love seeing that. And for him to say he's a brother, that's humongous.
His father did not like that. He's like, you're betraying your own kind, like these harsh words, because he could not accept that.
Yes. No, definitely.
Like that's, wow. It just shows you how deep that goes. And for Durin to actually say that, I think is huge. And I love the relationships in this story. I mean, with the Lord of the Rings, all the pure relationships. And, some people, like some of my friends would joke and be like, it's a little too sappy, a little too much. But I think that's wonderful to have like that kind of connection with people. Definitely. And it doesn't always mean it's a romance. It's a true friendship connection. And I think that's wonderful.
It's almost like kinship,
That's right.
Yeah. So can't wait to see the next episode. Wow. Really did like this one. Want to know what Adar's name's going to be?
Yeah.
Sauron, right. Just kidding. I didn't actually kill him. I am him. Who knows? Ooh, and one last thing I wanted to mention from last time is that in the beginning of last episode, Adar was actually planting a seed. We know Adar is an elf, or was an elf. He's like a corrupted elf. And so Arondir actually said early on last time that in elvish tradition, you plant a seed to defy death before a battle. So Adar still does that. And he cares for the orcs. So there's more about him. He's not like just pure evil.
Yeah.
He's just corrupt and different.
He just believes in what he's doing is right.
Yes, he does.
He really
He does. So until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you very soon as always. Bye.
Bye.